What's going on, guys? Boost Auto here, and today we're installing Lumastep M1 light-up running boards for Ford Superduty's F-250, F-350 between 1999 through 2016. So let's get into it. Lumastep M1 from Boost Auto is the next upgrade for your Super Duty. Built with premium components and constructed with 6000 series Aerospace grade aluminum, you just won't see Lumastep outshine the rest, you'll feel it too, every step of the way. Light up the night with Lumastep, brightening up your path clear as day. Lumastep features premium lighting functions allowing full customization on your truck. Build your set out and put in your order on our website today. Get your Lumastep M1 running boards and step up your game. This procedure applies to Crew Cab, also known as Super Crew, or Super Cab, also known as Extended Cab, 1999 through 2016 Ford Super Duty trucks. If this doesn't fit your specific truck, don't worry, we got a separate Boost Auto install video just for you. As always, to check fitment, availability, and to purchase this or any other product offered for your truck, go to boostauto.com. Your Lumastep M1 will come in two boxes, your running board box and your hardware and bracket box. This is what comes in your bracket and hardware box. You'll have your brackets as well as your plastic covers for the brackets. The vehicle we're working on is a crew cab, so you'll have 6 brackets in total. However, if you have an extended cab, also known as super cab, you only have 4 brackets in total. And over here is the assorted hardware you'll need. Your kit will include the primary and secondary harness, as well as your Hardwire adapter and the T-taps needed for this installation. If you option for a rock light, you'll receive your rock light harness and rock light switch. Here's a complete tool list for your reference. You can pause here to collect them, then let's proceed with the install. For this procedure, we're doing it on the left. However, it could easily be done on the ground. For crew cabs, you'll have 3 mounting locations. One in the front, one in the middle, and one in the rear. For extended cab, you only have 2 mounting locations. One in the front, and then one all the way in the back in the rear. We'll start with mounting at the front driver's side. Start with inserting your clip-in nuts at the top of the mounting points. Line it up with a hole in the body. Next, go ahead and do the other side of the top mounting point. Go ahead and slide on the clip-in nut and line it up with the hole in the body panel. With the clip-in nuts now installed, go ahead and grab your bracket. Your bracket is universal and can be used on any side at any point. Go ahead and line it up with the top bolts and go ahead and install your 13mm hex bolt with your assorted hardware. Your assorted hardware will include your flat washer, lock washer, and hex bolt. Install the other top bolt. Install the hardware to the lower part of your bracket. It'll go through the pinch weld and to the bracket. Take a 13mm hex bolt and place a flat washer on it. Now install it through the pinch weld into the bracket. On the other side, install a flat washer, a 13mm lock washer, and a 13mm hex nut. Now at this hole at the pinch weld, we'll follow the same procedure. Grab your hex bolt, a flat washer, and insert it through the pinch weld. On the other side, install your flat washer, your lock washer, then your 13mm hex nut. And lastly, we'll snug everything down. However, don't tighten it all the way down until final adjustments at the end. Install the remaining mounting brackets on both sides of the vehicle in the same way as the first. Remember, crew cabs, also known as super crews, will have the 3 mounting brackets on each side, while super cabs, also known as extended cabs, will only have 2 on each side. Back on the driver's side, at the front of the vehicle, go ahead and install your bracket cover. Line up the 2 holes to the bracket cover to the 2 holes at the bracket. Once the bracket cover is aligned, go ahead and install the push-in tabs. The push-in tabs are a 2-piece. Install the lower piece first. Go ahead and install the top of the push-in tab. Install the remaining bracket covers on both sides of the vehicle, just like the first cover. With our brackets and bracket covers now mounted, we could go ahead and mount our running boards. Let's start with the unboxing. The Boost Auto nameplate and the module will face the front of the vehicle. Go ahead and flip your board over. Now go ahead and mount your T-bolts to your running board. For this vehicle, we'll have 3 on each side, 6 in total. But for extended cab vehicles, you'll have 4 in total, 2 on each side. Slide each T-bolt to its approximate location. Now go ahead and mount your running board. Line up the T-bolts with the bracket, then drop it into place. On the driver's side at the front mounting point, go ahead and mount your hardware to your T-bolt. We'll start with the flat washer, and your lock washer, and your 10mm hex nut. Perform the same steps at the other T-bolt. And now we can tighten them down. However, hold off on tightening them down all the way until the end for final adjustments. If your running board is now mounted, go ahead and adjust it to your desired position. Now we can tighten everything down. With your driver's side mounted, go ahead and perform the same steps on the passenger side. Now with our running boards mounted, we'll start under the hood by disconnecting the battery. Proceed with opening the hood. On the passenger side, go ahead and disconnect the negative battery terminal. If you have an auxiliary battery, disconnect that at this time too. Disconnect the auxiliary battery on the driver's side. We'll start with routing the main harness with the ring terminals. On the passenger side of the vehicle, locate the 2 black connectors going to the running board module and tape it to a strained out metal piece. Back by the firewall, we could go ahead and route it down to the running board. Make sure to avoid any heat or moving components. I'll go ahead and pull the harness through. Go ahead and remove the tape. You can go ahead and plug the running board harness into the running board module. There will be 2 connector slots, and they are slotted so they cannot be plugged in incorrectly. Now go ahead and tuck the wires out of the way from any heat or moving components. Route the black receiving connector down towards the headlight. That completed, we could perform the same steps back on the driver's side. With the harness now routed through, we'll proceed with tapping at the headlight. To get to the headlight connector, some vehicles will require you to remove the grille. On the screen, you can see a brief breakdown. Essentially, 1999 through 2004 trucks do not require grille removal. If your vehicle is within this range, you can simply skip to where we begin tapping. Now, if you have a 2005 through 2016 Super Duty, you will need to remove the grille to access your headlight. You can see on the screen that some trucks, mainly 2008 through 2010 Super Duties, have the grille attached to the hood. In that case, your grille will lift up with the hood. With that out of the way, let's start removing our grille. We'll start by removing the 4 bolts on the top of the grille. For some vehicles, your bolts will be on top of the grille, while other vehicles, your bolts will be directly behind the grille. We'll start with removing this bolt. And the 4th and final bolt. On the inside of the grille, at the bottom of the grille, you'll have these metal tabs. Press on them using a flathead screwdriver to release the grille. These are the 5 metal tabs you'll want to push down using a flathead screwdriver. With the metal tabs released, go ahead and remove your grille. With the grille out of the way, you can continue removing the headlight. Once again, if your vehicle is a 1999 through 2004 Super Duty, you don't need to remove the headlight. You can skip to tapping. For everything else, headlight removal is required. On your screen, you can see the headlight removal varies slightly depending on what year your Super Duty is. First, we'll go over the steps for 2005 through 2007 trucks. There's 2 bolts on top and 2 bolts on the bottom. With the bolts removed, we can now remove the headlight. Up next, here are the headlight removal steps for 2008 through 2016 trucks. It has 1 bolt at top, 2 on the side, 1 at the bottom. We'll remove this bolt at the top of the headlight. Remove the 2 bolts on the side. And the last bolt, the 10 mil at the bottom. With the bolts out, we can now remove the headlight. The red and yellow wire with a quick disconnect is to tap to the turn signal wire on your headlight connector. Turn signal will come standard for all running boards. The blue wire with a quick disconnect is for enabling running light if you option for it. If you did not option for running light, this wire will not be active. You can simply tape the disconnect out of the way. The white wire with the bug connector is for rock light if you option for it. If you did not option for rock light, this wire will not be active, so be sure to tape the bug connector out of the way. Once your headlight is removed, you'll be looking for a 3-pin park lamp connector. The connector will be located at the back of the housing in this general area. To remove it, press down on the tab and slide it back. The connector we are tapping to will be this 3-pin park lamp connector located on the back of your headlight housing. Depending on your year truck, the connector may be in a slightly different location, but it will always be this 3-pin style connector located where your park lamp connector is. We'll start with tapping at turn signal. For turn signal, it'll be at pin 3. With the locking tab on the right, pin 3 is all the way on the left. Using the provided red T-tap from your kit, go ahead and tap. Press until it clicks into place. For turn signal, go ahead and get your Hardwire adapter and plug in the red and yellow wire to the wire that was just tapped. If you option for running light, you'll tap at pin 2, which is the wire located in the middle. Using the red T-tap provided in your kit, go ahead and tap the wire. Press until it clicks into place. Now plug in the blue wire from your Hardwire adapter. Next, take your black receiving connector and plug it into your Hardwire adapter. We can now repeat the same steps on the driver's side. Now pass the light pass-through connector to the other side and plug it in. The rock light function overrides any existing function when activated and outputs a solid white light. This will remain on until you switch it off and cannot be overridden by functions such as turn signal or running light. If you did option for rock light but did not purchase our rock light harness, you will simply need to run a 12-volt power feed to the white wire on the Hardwire adapter. If you have an existing rock light or auxiliary switch, you can use that, or any 12-volt trigger will do. If you did option for our rock light harness, follow these next steps. For the rock light harness, you'll route the white wires to the headlight and the red wire to the battery. Then crimp it to the red bug connector on the Hardwire tab. Now we can heat shrink the bug connector. Once done, repeat the same steps on the driver's side of the truck. We will start by unplugging the switch and taping it to a strained out metal piece to run inside the cabin. Now we can route the harness into the cabin. Once routed, pull the harness through. Now we can untape the harness. Next, find a suitable place on your dash to mount the rock light switch. When installing the rock light switch, the red power wire will go to pin 2, while the white signal wire will go to pin 1 on the switch. Reinstall the 3-pin park lamp connector. Now go ahead and reinstall your headlight. Repeat the same steps on the driver's side. Next, we could snap the grille back in place. Line up the 5 bottom metal tabs and then lock them in place. Reinstall the 4 screws at the top. For some vehicles, your bolts will be on top of the grille, while other vehicles, your bolts will be directly behind the grille. Back under the passenger side of the vehicle, we could go ahead and install the power and ground wire to our primary battery. For our power wire, we'll be going at the positive battery terminal. Go ahead and remove the plastic cover and undo this nut. With that done, we could go ahead and install our red wire with the ring terminal on the end. And if you option for rock light, you can install that wire here as well. With that done, reinstall the once removed nut. Now reinstall the cover. You could proceed with reinstalling the negative battery terminal, and if you have an auxiliary battery, that terminal as well. At the negative battery terminal, go ahead and remove this nut to install your ground wire. Install the ground wire with the ring terminal. Now reinstall the previously removed nut. Test to make sure all functions are operational at this time. Finally, tuck any extra wire away from any heat or moving components. That wraps up this install for our Lumastep M1 light up running boards. If you like this or any other of our products, head on over to boostauto.com. Now, if you enjoy content like this or wish to see more, head on over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. That's all for now. We'll catch you in the next one.